Dillon Gabriel was just named the Brown starter, but instead,
it's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this mid-game, but you know, it's something that I'll get used to, and just want to be the best teammate I can. And
alright, picture this: the NFL world just hit the rewind button on reality. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback who once thought his words were untouchable, now finds himself suspended over a comment about Shedeur Sanders that's shaking the entire league. Fans are losing their minds, coaches are scrambling, and Twitter is absolutely on fire. So, what did Dillon actually say, and why is everyone treating it like he just unleashed chaos itself? Whatever it was, this drama makes last season's plot twists look like nothing more than a warm-up.
And being ready for that moment, and I think, you know, I smile because it's like a moment you prep for and you are extremely excited for, but also got to realize that it's extreme focus, and that's what I've continued to harp on. But you wait for the perfect time, you know, you're going to wait a whole lifetime. So for me, I've always been ready.
The NFL has officially entered chaos mode, all thanks to Dillon Gabriel, who apparently decided that live national television was the perfect stage for his debut as a stand-up comedian. Unfortunately for him, the punchlines landed harder than a cancelled reality show, and the target wasn't just anyone. It was Shedeur Sanders, the man, the myth, the walking highlight reel himself. What started as a misguided attempt at humor has now spiraled into one of the wildest controversies of the season, leaving fans stunned and the league scrambling to clean up the mess.
I don't even think about nothing. I don't think about anything. If it's not words or anything, you know, at this point it can't do anything to me. You know, I know, you know, the God put the ability and the power within me to not even think about nobody else's comments, not care. It is what it is. I spoke with him. He said, nah, bro, that wasn't. He said, that wasn't. He told me on the plane. He came up. He was like, nah, bro, that wasn't at you. I see how they trying to spin. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not tripping, regardless of whatever it was. Nobody's words or anything affects me, you know. So, yeah.
So did you believe him when he told you it wasn't on you?
Did I believe him?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're trying to start.
And yes, it was Dillon's brilliant idea to roast Shedeur in front of millions, because nothing says great career move quite like poking a hornet's nest while wearing a paper suit. Fans went from zero to nuclear in seconds, and social media didn't just trend, it erupted like a volcano running on pure caffeine. Meanwhile, Shedeur, as always, sat back with that calm smile. He didn't need to say a word, his silence carried more weight than any comeback ever could.
Have you ever heard of an audition, Dillon Gabriel?
there's entertainers and there's competitors, and my job is to compete.
You don't know that competition exists everywhere? That's just a dumb, idiotic, entitled statement.
Whoa.
You want to play in front of empty stands? You want to play when nobody's watching? Good luck, bro. Hope you can play under duress and adversity, because it's coming your way after those comments.
He doesn't chase clout, clout practically sprints into his path like it has an appointment with destiny. Now, let's rewind for a second to fully appreciate the sheer audacity of this moment. Dillon Gabriel, a rookie quarterback, just going through the motions, stretching, yawning, trying to look like any other athlete, grabs his phone and scrolls through his feed. That's where it all began, the spark that set off a fire Dillon never saw coming.
I disagree with you. I think he was taking a shot at Shedeur. Name the time you've ever heard someone say there are entertainers and there are competitors, and I'm here to compete.
Let's say he's taking a shot at Shedeur, right? At what point has he been an entertainer? He's a football player as well.
But we've heard people say that's what he's more interested in doing. Plus, we've heard this before.
Okay.
And sometimes it seeps out when you've been around people and they perceive other people as that. If you're not careful, you'll repeat what you've heard someone say about someone. Why did he have to throw the entertainer aspect?
When Dillon finally spoke, he said something about entertainers and competitors, insisting later that his words were aimed at the media. But the audience knew better. One look at his tone, his smirk, his delivery, and it was obvious. This wasn't subtle. There was shade, a jab, and a full-blown career misfire wrapped in one awkward sentence. Shedeur Sanders fans? They mobilized instantly, an elite fusion of FBI agents, meme creators, and digital detectives. He tried to clean it up at a press conference, fumbling through his words like a quarterback scrambling against a blitz he never saw coming. I meant the media are entertainers, and I'm a competitor, sure, Dillon. We get it. But explaining it after the fact doesn't undo the spectacle you created. It's like trying to patch a sinking ship with duct tape and a prayer. The leaks are everywhere, the screenshots are eternal, and the memes? They've officially joined the halls of NFL history.
So today, Dillon Gabriel came out and he started off by saying, there's entertainers and there's competitors. He sent a slick shot at Shedeur Sanders. But Shedeur Sanders last week threw 2 touchdown passes, and today you had Dillon Gabriel, and everyone's making all the excuses in the world for him. He threw a pick 6 and he lost a fumble. So will you take 0 touchdowns and 2 turnovers, or will you take 2 touchdowns and 0 turnovers from Shedeur Sanders, which he had over a 100 and something. Shedeur had over a 100 and something QBR rating versus Dillon Gabriel had a 72.
And let's talk about why this whole disaster erupted in the first place. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a football player, he's an empire wrapped in a helmet. Ratings spike the second he touches the ball. Stadiums sell out just to watch him stretch before kickoff. The man could show up late, flash a grin, and fans would still chant his name like he just solved a world crisis. To be fair, Dillon Gabriel has talent, he's not some rookie lost in the playbook. He can throw, he can scramble, and he probably knows where the end zone is most days. But talent doesn't protect you from bad judgment. And this? This wasn't just a bad call, it was a cinematic scale disaster. The kind of blunder that will live on in highlight reels, not for its athletic brilliance, but for its sheer comedic and tragic value. Years from now, people will still laugh and say, remember the day Dillon Gabriel tried to roast Shedeur Sanders and ended up roasting himself on national TV? Oh yes, we'll remember. Because the aftermath was beautiful chaos. Overnight, Dillon went from a rising star to a cautionary tale, proof that in today's NFL, words can hit harder than tackles. Meanwhile, Shedeur didn't have to lift a finger. No tweets, no statements, no posts. Just silence, and somehow, that spoke louder than anything else.
Now, this is my opinion. You could take it however you want to, take that statement, whatever. But I'm taking it just like everybody else taking it because everybody else is posting it. ESPN, Cleveland, Chops, Cleveland, Browns, they self-posting them clips saying exactly what Dillon Gabriel saying. Hey, you can take it how you want to take it. I'm telling you right now, I find it funny too, Dillon, that every time you got to speak and you get one up on Shedeur, you always got to take a shot. Now look, you can take it however you want to take it.
He didn't have to do a thing, just played his usual game, which is to say, spectacularly. That's the beauty of Shedeur Sanders, silence with style, the ultimate power move. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel unknowingly volunteered himself as the main course in the NFL's latest media feast. What's wild is that this story has escaped the boundaries of sports altogether. NFL scouts and coaches aren't just looking at stats these days, they're studying character, poise, and leadership. And what did Dillon just show the world on live television? That under pressure, or simply in the orbit of someone more famous, he might melt down in HD while millions watch. Scouts are whispering now, yeah, the kid can throw, but can he survive live TV? That's not the kind of line any rookie quarterback wants floating around, but Dillon didn't stop at one misstep. Oh no, he doubled down with half-hearted clarifications, awkward interviews, and a PR cleanup effort that reads like a bad soap opera. Expect the classic redemption playbook, long Instagram posts filled with ellipses, emotional apologies, maybe even a photo with a puppy to soften the blow. But no matter how polished the apology, the internet never forgets, and this saga has already earned its place in NFL folklore.
I think whoever put that clip out there the way that they did, I think that was disingenuous. I thought it was unfair to Dillon Gabriel.
Did, for the record.
ESPN,
And the NFL Network.
Like that was,
guys, that's what they do. And
crazy.
That's who he's talking about, by the way. He's not talking about us. He's talking about the Adam Schefters of the world and the national reporters that are making this more than it is. That's what he's talking about. Now, I have to be perfectly honest here. I'm not convinced yet that he wasn't talking about Shedeur. I'm not. I don't know. He clarified.
Meanwhile, Shedeur just keeps stacking yards, touchdowns, and highlight reels, while Dillon's stuck scrambling, backpedaling, and praying for internet mercy. Spoiler alert, the internet doesn't do mercy. Let's zoom out and appreciate the absurdity for a second. Dillon's insult wasn't clever, not even close. If you're going to risk your budding career live on national television, you'd better bring wit, timing, or at least a spark of originality. Dillon didn't just fail, he walked straight into the punchline and became the headline. In one misguided moment, he went from rising talent to internet legend for all the wrong reasons, faster than you can say pick six. And the timing? Couldn't have been worse. He's trying to carve out a place in the NFL, earn snaps, climb the depth chart, but instead of boosting his profile, he just branded himself with a permanent reminder of his blunder. Every snap he takes now carries an invisible caption, "Remember the day you insulted Shedeur Sanders?" Fans will heckle, commentators will replay it, and opponents will whisper it. It's the kind of moment that follows a player everywhere, a never-ending echo. Meanwhile, Shedeur continues to thrive, unbothered and unstoppable, reminding everyone that the best revenge isn't a response, it's performance.
Gabriel, everyone's like, it's his first game. Dude, it's not that serious. His first game, he had a good game. But when it came to Shedeur Sanders, if Shedeur would have threw a pick and fumbled the ball, you guys would have let him have it on the internet. So I'm just here to say, man, Shedeur needs to move up on that depth chart after this horrible performance. I don't care how many yards you threw, how accurate you were. You threw a pick six and you fumbled, and you didn't throw not one single touchdown pass. It's obvious who was the best quarterback in the Browns locker room. There's no arguing that. And to put icing on the cake, Dillon lined up today with a first-team offensive line versus Shedeur lined up with a third.
This is the ultimate flex. Shedeur doesn't need to respond, doesn't need to tweet, doesn't even need to acknowledge Dillon exists. He just performs, smiles, and lets the world do the talking for him. It's a masterclass in strategy, patience, and brand dominance. What could have been a slight against him turned into free publicity, while Dillon managed to torch bridges, credibility, and reputation in a single interview. Now, the internet has taken over. Dillon's been photoshopped into every imaginable scene of failure. It's a full buffet of hilarity. Scouts might start hesitating. Teammates could begin questioning his leadership. Coaches? They're probably sighing into their coffee, wondering how this became their problem. Meanwhile, Shedeur's stock keeps soaring. Every touchdown, every highlight, every camera shot reinforces his untouchable aura. He didn't argue. He didn't post. He just existed, and the world couldn't stop reacting. In the end, Dillon Gabriel's attempt at a viral moment didn't just miss, it detonated. What he wanted was clout, attention, maybe even a touch of intimidation. What he got instead were memes, trending hashtags, and a lifetime membership in the Hall of Humility.
Say, oh, he ain't talking about Shedeur. But look, this is my channel, this is my opinion, this is what I'm talking about, and he definitely taking a shot at Shedeur. Because everybody posting, you wait for the perfect time. Knowing well, Shedeur Sanders got a song called Perfect Timing. You wait for the perfect time. You're going to be waiting your whole life. Think about that now. Think about that now. Dillon Gabriel had to choose perfect time and then wait your whole life. What we been waiting on? Shedeur Sanders, 12, to become the starter, to play for the Browns, to get an opportunity, to show what he can do. We've been waiting this whole time. What Shedeur still.
His name will now forever be linked to a single moment of chaos, a cautionary tale of what happens when ambition collides with poor judgment in high definition. And the beauty of it all? Shedeur Sanders didn't even lift a finger. He just keeps stacking highlights, collecting accolades, and letting the world write the story for him. Dillon Gabriel is now officially a legend in chaos, enshrined in the annals of NFL infamy for all the wrong reasons, and just when you think things couldn't possibly get worse for him, they do. Because now, every interaction, every press conference, every sideline interview has turned into a high-stakes minefield. Journalists don't even ask normal questions anymore, they're practically running psychological experiments. Every time someone says Shedeur Sanders, it's like watching a stress test in real time. Reporters don't inquire anymore, they summon the moment. How do you feel about your comments on Shedeur Sanders? Isn't a question, it's a ritual. A weekly, public trial of composure. A gladiator match, except the sword is a microphone and the crowd is armed with memes. And Dillon? He's the unwilling performer in a circus he built himself, one awkward soundbite at a time.
First game in the NFL. First time a mic has been in front of your face as a starting quarterback. And you use that to throw a shot at your teammate. Regardless if y'all competing, he's your teammate. And I think you caught it because you said you want to be the best teammate that you can. And then you went to the press conference after the game and tried to clean it up even more. You're undersized. You turn the ball over. You're not that guy. Yes, you could be serviceable in the NFL, but you don't have the cachet to throw people under the bus, especially publicly, and especially when they don't turn the ball over. But I don't want to.
Meanwhile, social media has evolved from simple commentary into full-blown historiography. Every gesture, every smirk, every twitch of Dillon Gabriel's eyebrow has been captured, archived, and immortalized. TikTok users are producing mini-documentaries, meme pages are comparing him to historical catastrophes, and YouTube compilation videos are dropping faster than the NFL can upload official highlights. His attempts at damage control? Met with collective side-eye, even from those supposed to be in his corner. And naturally, the chaos has spilled into the fantasy football realm. Shedeur owners are popping champagne, while Dillon owners are frantically Googling life insurance options. He's gone from a promising pick to a weekly plot twist, a walking warning label in group chats, and the internet's favorite cautionary tale. Fantasy analysts are even using his meltdown as a case study. Here's what not to do when you're a quarterback living in the Shedeur Sanders era. It's part textbook, part sociology, part comedy, and all Dillon. His name is now officially cemented in digital folklore, not for what he achieved on the field, but for the unforgettable moment he became the punchline of an entire generation of NFL fans.
My whole Instagram feed was about, did Dillon Gabriel take a shot at Shedeur Sanders? We're gonna make a decision on this, okay? So the quote was, he was asked about handling all the noise in the quarterback competition, right? He said there are entertainers and there are competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this interview mid-game, and it's something I'll get used to, and I just want to be the best teammate that I can be and create an environment where we can all do our best work. That's all we want to do. And so a lot of people interpreted that as a shot at Shedeur Sanders, and you saw people ran wild with it.
Let's talk about PR strategy, or more accurately, the gaping absence of one. Somewhere right now, Dillon Gabriel's team is probably huddled around a laptop, drafting a heartfelt apology titled, "I Didn't Mean It." But here's the problem, no one's buying it. The internet can detect desperation faster than a linebacker reads a broken play. Dillon isn't negotiating with an audience, he's negotiating with a digital hive mind that feeds on humiliation and laughs at poorly worded apologies. Clips of the incident are being played and replayed in sports bars, classrooms, and living rooms across the country. Parents are using it as a teachable moment, the visual definition of career suicide in HD. Memes have evolved into t-shirts, stickers, and probably NFTs by next week. Dillon didn't just fail at trash talk, he accidentally elevated it into an art form of chaos, and somewhere, Shedeur Sanders is smiling. Not a smug smile, but the kind that says, I don't need to clap back, the world's already doing it for me. Because right now, the media, the fans, and the entire internet have become Shedeur's unpaid PR team, amplifying his greatness one viral blunder at a time.
My whole Instagram feed was about, did Dillon Gabriel take a shot at Shedeur Sanders? We're gonna make a decision on this, okay? So the quote was, he was asked about handling all the noise in the quarterback competition, right? He said there are entertainers and there are competitors, and I told we want to do. And so a lot of people interpreted that as a shot at Shedeur Sanders, and you saw people ran wild with that. I actually buy Dillon Gabriel's response. He said, I was talking about the media when I said that. I wasn't talking about Shedeur Sanders. I don't know.
First rule of modern football folklore, never mess with Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur? He just keeps stacking highlights, collecting accolades, and racking up free publicity, all while calmly sipping water on the sidelines like he's watching a nature documentary unfold. Every time Shedeur's name trends, there'll be a chorus of whispers, smirks, and memes reminding the world, don't ever, under any circumstances, challenge the empire that is Shedeur Sanders, and that's the legacy of it all. Dillon Gabriel became the man who tried to roast Shedeur Sanders and ended up roasting himself for the entire nation's entertainment. Meanwhile, Shedeur's legend continues to grow, silently and effortlessly, without a word spoken or a tweet posted. It's poetic contrast. It's cosmic irony. It's peak entertainment, written by fate and fueled by the internet.